We're speaking today about the map skills. I'm sure that all of you now has the ability, each one of you has the ability to use a map, right? So let's start by asking you this question. Why would we use a map? Anyone? Hassan, Atibi, Khayat, Saif.
Yes, teacher.
Yeah, why would we use a map?
To locate some places.
Nice to locate some places. Great. What else?
To don't get lost.
Not to be lost inside some new place. That's great. So how can we use a map nowadays?
On the phone.
So on each phone right now, we can just identify Google Maps. By just one click, you will have the ability to this access, right? For example, now we are living in Riyadh. And that's our school right here. That's Riyadh Najd. Okay. So simply by using a map, we will be able to go wherever we want. We will not be lost, as you said, and we will have access to a variety of information that was long ago not known for us. So, for example, right now, if someone of you invited his friend for a birthday party, for example, and this friend doesn't know the location, so all he needs to do is just to send him the location, and by that he will be able to arrive. Thanks, Mecca. So by using the map skills we are having right now, we will be able to just find places that were so difficult for us to find years ago. Okay, so for me, when I look at a map, I'll find a lot of things like, and let's check, for example. So if you went to any place here, you will find these marks. Can you see that mark? The red symbol. Okay, where's my location? So by looking at the map, we will find a lot of symbols, like this one, a diner, like
I
this one.
think the screen froze.
The screen is frozen. Let me stop sharing and share again then. So, can you see that? Can you see it now, Hussein?
Now it's good.
Okay, so by looking at the map, you will find some symbols inside the map, like this one, the H one, resembling a hospital. You will find this one, resembling a market. You will find the P, resembling a park. You will find the fork and the knife, resembling a diner. You will find a bed resembling a hotel. Okay, so now we need to understand how can we deal with a map. Okay, if we are having the chance to deal with one. Okay, Hussein, can you start reading, please?
What teacher?
Can
Teacher,
you
what
read,
did you
please?
say?
Can you read, please?
Okay. From the book,
Yes.
scale and distance. A map is a scaled down representation of an area in the real world. Cart- Cartographers have to simplify things in order to represent them on the map, because it would be impossible to fit every real detail on the map. In earlier grades, we worked with scale. Scale tells you how much smaller the map is than the real area it represents. For example, the map on the opposite page gives a line scale that looks like this: 2 centimeter equals to 400 meters.
Okay, in this map in front of you in page 103, you'll find out that each 2 centimeters of this map, okay, if we measure 2 centimeters here, in real world, that's 400 meters. Don't have the okay. So for the scale, we need to understand and figure out that, of course, the map in front of us is not the real distance or the real measuring, because each 4 or each 2 centimeter in this map in front of us resembles 400 meters in real life, which is very, very long distance. We can also express a scale as a ratio. To do that, we need to express distance in the same units. 2 centimeters represents 2 meters. Consequently, 200 meters represent 20,000 centimeters, or 1 centimeter represents 200 meters. If you went here to these one place many scales, so the series of images begin at the scale that covers the whole Earth. It ends at the scale showing the city block that includes the Capitol building in the downtown Atlanta, Georgia. Each image shows features 10 times larger than in the previous image. The image were generated using data from several satellites. So for planet Earth itself, it's 10,000 miles. Now we have only 1,000 miles, then 100 miles, 10 miles, only 1 mile. Okay, so that shows us how scale works. And of course, to speak about the map samples, we found out that we use the map samples to show features from real life on a map. All maps use similar symbols. This means that people all over the world can recognize the symbols and use the maps. Even if they do not speak the same language, a key tells you what the symbol represents. The key from the map on the opposite page is underneath it. So, for example, in this map, we will find all of these symbols, which are these keys. So, when you find someone sleeping on a bed, that's a hotel. When you have two pucks, that's a school. When you have the basket to collect items or merchandise, that's a market. When you have the trolley, you have the supermarket. The H resembles the hospital. This is the symbol of a mosque, one-way road, two-way roads, a road, and a highway. So by looking to that map, we will be able to understand and figure out most of the map skills that are needed to deal with the. So here in this activity, we are asked to identify 2 hotels on the map. So how many hotels are there on that map?
I can't read them, but I see them. They're on the left, mid left.
Okay, so how many ones do we have?
2. 4.
So we have 4 hotels. Okay, we have Pauli Hotel, we have Hans Stew's Al Khopper, we have the Digital Sati number 1 and number 2. What about the school?
1.
Only one school, a Salam school. What about mosque?
1.
We have one mosque, which is Omar ibn Abdulaziz Mosque. So by understanding these samples will give you the ability to understand any map while you are out anywhere in the world. Of course, this shows us the scale and how it works from satellite view until our own view. So far, so good.
Great.
Okay. So jumping to the next page, which is speaking about the longitude and the latitude of our planet. Of course, our planet is divided into some thing that we call longitude and latitude. And of course, they are imaginary lines. Imaginary lines. They are not in the real world. But we just divide our Earth or our planet on these lines in order to be easy to study them and to study what we call the diversity in temperature, diversity in the seasonal wind, and other things that are related to both longitude and latitude. Okay, Khayat, can you read?
Yes, for map symbols.
Yep, no longitude and latitude, page
Oh, your school pros.
104. Now,
Yeah, it's good. Longitude and latitude. In lesson 1, you identified some of the lines of latitude, such as the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn, and the equator. These lines run horizontally around the Earth. Lines of latitude are also known as parallels. The equator is the zero line of latitude. All other lines of latitude run parallel to it. Lines of latitude run from 0 degrees to 90 degrees. They are expressed in degrees as north or south depending on whether they are north or south of the equator. The lines of longitude run from pole to pole. The 0 degree line of longitude is called the Greenwich meridian. It takes its name from the English town of Greenwich, through which it passes. Lines of longitude are also known as meridians. Lines of longitude west of the Greenwich meridian are measured from 0 degrees to 180 degrees. The 180-degree line of longitude runs east of Asia and New Zealand. It's labeled A on the map.
all right. So we have already spoken about some lines of latitude, like the equator, for example. So they run horizontally. On the other side, when we speak about the longitude, we are speaking about the vertical ones, like the green meridian, for example. So by dividing our planet to this, we will be able to measure the timing in different places, and also this will enable us to understand how the global system of timing, temperature, and even seasons work from one place to another. So So, for example, lines of longitude and latitude, that's how we divide our planet. And again, these lines are imaginary ones. So, you will not find a line like this passing your town or passing here in KSA, for example. Okay, these lines are imaginary ones that we put in order to make it easier for us to understand how our geography works. So, in the activity here, we are asked to find the lines of latitude and longitude on the map above. Of course, here are the lines of latitude, and these are the lines of longitude. What do you notice about the lines of latitude, north of the equator and south of the equator? What is the difference between both of them? North of the equator.
Different hemispheres.
Exactly. We will have here different seasonals. We will have also different timing. Okay, and the timing, guys, it's for the timing itself. The timing is related to the longitude lines, not the latitude line. So, for example, if someone is here, for example, that's Libya. Okay, if someone here is Libya, and the time right now in Libya is, let's see, it's for example 12 p.m. Okay, and someone here in South Africa will be also 12 p.m. But if I'm here in case A, it will be 1 p.m. If I'm here in Indonesia, it will be 2 p.m. In India, 3 p.m. Jumping to another place and other places. So by moving from one longitude to another one, the timing changes. But from moving from one latitude to another one, the temperature and the season changes. Okay. Okay, great.
Estimate that the Earth is over 4.5 billion years old, and that modern humans have been walking the face of it for around 200,000 years. The geography of our planet has shaped the population patterns, available resources, industries, cultures, and nearly every facet of human activity during those 200,000 years. Geography is a study of the physical features of the Earth and how they affect the humans who call the planet home. Physical features include landforms like valleys, mesas, mountains, deserts, volcanoes, and canyons, along with waterforms like lakes, rivers, and oceans. To pinpoint locations on Earth, geographers use either relative location or absolute location. Relative location is where a place is located in relation to another place. For example, the treasure is located around the rock, through the palm tree forest, and near the open clearing. Absolute location is the precise point where a place is located on Earth. To find absolute locations on Earth, a geographer uses imaginary lines called latitude and longitude. Lines of latitude circle the Earth from east to west, while the lines of longitude circle the Earth from north to south. Geographers measure latitude and longitude in degrees. Each degree of latitude is about 69 miles, or 111 kilometers. Degrees of longitude work a bit differently. The lines converge at the poles and are widest at the equator, with a distance of approximately 69 miles, or 111 kilometers at that point. Lines of latitude and longitude intersect at right angles at the equator. The equator is the line of latitude that divides the Earth into the northern and southern hemispheres. At 0 degrees latitude, all locations north of the equator are written as n number of degrees. All locations south of the equator are written as s number of degrees. Lines of longitude begin at the prime meridian, which divides the Earth into eastern and western hemispheres. At 0 degrees longitude, all locations east of the prime meridian are written as e number of degrees. All locations west of the prime meridian are written as w number of degrees. People are using the lines to crisscross the world every day. Ships and airplanes need to use the coordinates to navigate the oceans and skies, while travelers use the lines of longitude and latitude to find specific landmarks. You can use the lines of longitude and latitude in your own community to go geocaching to find treasures hidden where you least expect it. Studying geography allows us to understand the reasons people live in various regions, how physical features affect the economy of communities, and on a larger scale, global political issues like border disputes, climate change, access to food and clean water, and the spread of diseases, just to name a few. Jumping into the world of geography is as easy as opening a GPS app on your smartphone and putting one foot in front of the other. So what are you waiting for? The world awaits.
Any questions so far, grade 8?
Can I leave?
No.